Hey Algebra 1, it's good to see you all again. Well, I actually can't see you right now, but you can see me. We're gonna keep moving ahead with our new content, and this week it's actually very related to last week's content. Last week we introduced this idea of a system of linear and quadratic equations, where we have two equations. One of them is quadratic, the other one is just a linear equation. So one of them is a quadratic function, meaning it's a curved parabola. It could also be upside down. And then you also have a linear function, which linear means line, right? So today we're gonna think about how we can solve these systems graphically. Think back to systems of linear equations from IMC and previously this year. One of the ways you can solve a system is by graphing two lines and seeing where they intersect. The same is true for these types of problems, okay? So today what I need you to do, or maybe just watch me do this video once, and then you might have to, or if you want to open a new tab, you can open a new tab. But you're gonna have to be using this website called Desmos. So let me show you what it is. So you're gonna go to your tab, just open a Google Chrome window or whatever, and you're gonna type in desmos.com/calculator, okay? It's a graphing calculator, so I know some of you have graphing calculators, some of you don't, so I want you to actually use this website because it shows the graph nice and big on your screen. The first setting I want you to do is to actually go up to this little tool wrench up here, and we're gonna get rid of the minor grid lines. That's just gonna make our graph a little bit cleaner. And then what we're also going to do is go to step here, and we're gonna type in a 1, and we're gonna go to step here and type in 1 as well. That way we have a grid for every number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And then you can just click that little tool wrench again. Okay, so if we're thinking about the solutions to these types of systems, remember it's where these two graphs intersect. So back on Desmos, we're gonna start by typing in this equation up here. X squared plus x minus 2. Now here's how you can get the little exponent of 2. If you click this keypad down here, it gives you that option. So I'm gonna start by typing in x, and then I'm gonna click the a squared, and that automatically just makes it an x squared, all right? Then I just type plus x minus 2, and I used my keyboard for that, but you can use the buttons down here. I'm gonna hide the keypad, and then in the second row, if you just click there, you're gonna type in negative x plus 1. Again, I just used my keyboard, but you can click on this keypad down here and use these buttons. Okay, so if we're taking a look at this graph, our solutions are the two points where they intersect. In this case, they are going to intersect twice. Our first point of intersection is this little button, this little spot here. And notice if you hover your mouse over this point, it tells you where they intersect. In this case, they intersect at -3 and 4. So that is one of our solutions. Pretty straightforward, right? You can hover your mouse over the other point where they intersect, and that is our other solution, 1, 0. All right? So that's basically it. We're just gonna graph both of them and see where they intersect. I want you, if you have an opportunity, to pause the video, open a Desmos screen, and you're gonna type in this systems of equations right here. X squared minus 3x minus 4, negative x minus 1. Pause this video, open another screen, another tab, and type this in and see if you get the solutions we get. Okay, I've assumed you paused it. So on my Desmos screen, I'm gonna type in x, I'm gonna use the keypad function here, x squared, and then I'm gonna do minus 3x minus 4. In the second row, in the second equation here, I'm gonna type in negative x minus 1. All right, and I can hide my keypad. Now, you can move the graph around with your mouse by dragging it. Our two solutions are going to be -1, 0, and 3, -4. I really like Desmos because you don't have to do anything other than hover your mouse over the intersection point and it gives you the solution. Pretty straightforward, right? the last thing I need us to do is just to visualize what it looks like when there are two solutions, one solution, and zero solutions. So go ahead and we're going to type this in. You don't have to do this by yourself. I'll just type it in. But let's take a look at what it looks like when there are two solutions. You've already seen it, but I want you to see it one more time. So we're going to look at x squared minus 4x plus 1. And our second equation is going to be 1/2 x minus 3. Okay. This is a graph with two solutions. That's simply because they intersect two times. They intersect here and they intersect here. Pretty straightforward. Let's take a look at what it looks like when you have only one solution. So I'm going to erase this. I'm going to type in x squared. Oops, wrong one. X squared. Oh my goodness, Perez, what are you doing? X squared minus 4x plus 2, and we're just going to do negative 2x plus 1. Oh, Perez, come on. Okay. Now, this is a very tricky, actually it's not that tricky, right? It doesn't look anything like the previous graph. Take a good look at it. It really looks, and you can zoom in by scrolling in, it's only going to intersect right here at 1, negative 1. All right? A quick interesting thing for those of you that will eventually take AP Calculus, if you zoom in very, 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 very close, even the curved graph looks like a straight line. Anyway, that's just me nerding out, and that'll be very relevant when you get to calculus. Lastly, you can imagine what a system with zero solutions looks like. If it has zero solutions, how many times do you think it's going to intersect? None. So I just made up these functions, and you can type this in or just watch me type it in. But you have negative x squared plus x plus 3. I'm just making this graph up. And let's do x plus 4. These two graphs do not intersect at all, so it has no solutions. That means there's no ordered pairs that we can find that make both equations true. Okay? Now, that's basically the whole lesson, but I need you to tell you what is coming up this week. So right after you finish watching this, you need to fill out a quick Google form just to see if you caught my understanding. There's no IXL for this type of skill, so I'm going to make my own Google form that you're going to fill out. That'll be your second assignment and your second grade. The third assignment, I'm actually going to ask you to take a screenshot or actually use Desmos and then sketch a graph of what's on your screen onto paper. I might have you do that with 2 or 3 problems, and then you're going to take a picture of your work and send it to me. And then lastly, you're going to take a mini quiz as your last assignment. The mini quiz is really mini. It's literally 2 or 3 problems, and you can use Desmos as a resource to answer your questions. Before ending this video, I need you to quickly review this with me because I need you to be able to use Desmos. So remember, on Desmos, if you want to type in x squared, you start by typing the letter x in, you open this keypad, and then you just hit this a squared button. All right, that's all I really need you to remember because you need to do this for your assignments. And remember that we want to go to our little wrench up here, and we want to make sure that the minor grid lines are off, and we want to make sure that you have step 1 and step 1. Okay? That's it for now. Be on the lookout for assignments. They're going to be posted daily rather than all on one day. So I'm only asking you to do one thing per day. If you have any questions, doubts, or whatever, feel free to email me. But that's all I got. Enjoy April break next week. I can't believe we're already there. It feels like we've been on a break, kind of. But I care about you all. I miss you all. And reach out with any questions. Thanks, Algebra.